All right, everybody, welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast. It's been a minute.
Yeah, live,
We're,
live from Stonehill. Let's go. Shout
it's
out.
recorded. It's
Shout out.
recorded from Stonehill.
Yeah.
We're
Shout out B-Hall.
we're
Shout out.
gonna be talking about Cam Newton and the Patriots so far this year. Obviously, we all had our predictions and what we thought they were gonna be. But that was a long time before we got Cam that we really talked about all that stuff. And then we've had a little bit of a break from the show.
Wait, do you want to
So
sticking with? Do you want to guess what I'm sticking with?
you're sticking with
11
11
and 5, baby. 11 and 5. Go.
11-5. I still think 10-6, but like they could easily get better than that. But that's just where I think they're going to be, because I think at some point they're going to adjust. Like other teams are going to be able to adjust to the way they're playing. I mean, the Seahawks couldn't. Obviously, they have some things up their sleeve, but I think at some point, as multi-dimensional as Cam is, at some point it becomes something that, and it's very easy where an injury could happen. So, I mean,
So all right, we'll start with game one. So game one, honestly,
Can I just say, it to me, I know it doesn't say on the record, it feels like they're 2-0. I know they're not, but doesn't it feel like it because of just the way that they played in that Seahawks game?
yeah.
Like-
So yeah, I would say I don't know. So yeah, I feel like they should be 2-0. They especially on that last play, but we'll get to that last play later. But based on on game one, I want to focus on game one to start. So against Miami, he was 15 for 19, 155 yards, no interceptions. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but he ran into himself. So, all right, I personally thought he had a good game.
And I mean, he had 75 rushing yards too.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
big.
It was a good first game, but he obviously and after that game, I was like, all right, that was good, but against some more run defensive teams, what is he going to be able to do? And he needs to be able to throw the ball. He needs to be able to throw touchdown passes, he needs to be able to throw more than 155 yards. But because 75 yards is great rushing, but you're not going to be able to always rush the ball against teams. So, so I was a little skeptical after the first game, even though he did play well. But then when we get to Seattle, he was 30 for 44. 397 yards, one touchdown, one interception, and he runs into himself. Honestly, that completely got rid of any of my worries about him, because he showed he can sit in the pocket, throw the ball, find his receivers, and be reliable. And one interception's fine, whatever. Not worried about it. He ran into himself and had 47 yards, and threw a touchdown pass. I thought. That for me, that kind of
Well, I get what you mean, and I agree with you, but I think the biggest thing for me that what it showed as far as Cam is his passing ability was the biggest question. It obviously his durability does too, because it's mainly about the injury that he was having with the foot, and then he had the shoulder. But I think it's the injury, obviously, his durability, but I think his passing accuracy and his completion percentage, they weren't always horrible his whole career. Yeah, he had some down years where it wasn't that great, and it was in the 50s, which isn't good, but it was never I wouldn't say it was horrendous, but he was never a very good passer. But he's obviously known as a running quarterback. He's more of a
But I think he can sit
mobile. He's a mobile guy. But if you can, Bill Belichick's very good. I guess you could say he's a good quarterback coach. Obviously, with Tom Brady, he's more of a defensive mind, but obviously he has a knack with quarterbacks, and I think
he also got McDaniels, who's a pretty.
Yeah, and I think McDaniels obviously too. But I think they definitely you can tell the different. You can tell there's a
McDaniels on that last play, but we'll get there.
You can tell that they've worked on his mechanics.
Yeah,
because he was slinging the ball down the field with no problem, and he was gunning it to people whenever he needed it. And that's something that, we hoped we would see, but I'm glad that it's come to fruition, that it's actually happening, because it's scary to think about the fact that, yes, you would have had Cam, but at the same time, there's no loss in it. I can't say there's a loss, because it's it's a win-win, because you get a good quarterback and you're not giving up much for him. but everyone had high expectations. I feel like as soon as we signed Cam, it's like even if you didn't want Cam, once you get him, you're like, oh well, he's gonna be really good, or you think he's gonna suck. But like, and I think he's proved both of those to be,
But when they signed him, honestly, he didn't even have the job. He had to win out the job against Stidham.
he
Stidham's
had the job.
Stidham's
He had the job. Stidham's fucking inactive. He
yes,
had the job.
currently injured. But but like my thing was with like Cam,
Dude, there was reports coming out of camp that Brian Hoyer looked the best of the 3 quarterbacks.
no,
If you
I
didn't think Cam had the job from
I'm saying when they first signed him, nobody knew who was starting. Like,
dude, they put out a hype video for him when they signed him. We're not even gonna get into that, but they put out a hype video when they signed him. It
but
was pretty clear.
anyway, going back to his running versus passing ability, I wasn't necessarily like negating his passing ability before the season started. Like, I thought he was fine throwing the ball, but then after the first game, I was a little bit concerned because he wasn't throwing the ball. He threw the ball 19 times.
Well, when you're playing a team like Miami, I
they
think
have no run defense. They have literally no run defense.
talking about the Pats or
No, Miami. That's why that's why we ran the
sorry.
ball so much. So I was like, well, now we got to see what he does against Seattle throwing the ball because we can't run the ball.
Well, we knew going into Seattle that it was going to be a totally different challenge. But I think what I'm looking at, what my positive is out of this whole thing, that I think a lot of people are not really forgetting, but once you start talking about stats, you're like, oh, he could have done this better. They had no preseason. So this is their preseason, basically. They had no team out on the field, like, full go, like, you're not on my team, we're not
That's
friends.
why there's so many injuries in the NFL.
So, but no, besides the injuries, I'm just talking about the team's performance on the field. Like, as good as they've been, this is literally like their preseason. So the good thing is that you can say is they can go up from here. Obviously, yeah, they could fall down, but I don't really see that happening. I see them gaining confidence and Cam Newton becoming more comfortable in the offense. Offense growing.
You look at this team. Honestly, I think Seattle's the second best team in the league right now.
Who do you think is the best team in the league?
Chiefs. I think the Seattle's the second best team in the league right now, and
who do you think is the best quarterback in the league?
Mahomes. I don't think that's
off topic. I just want to know.
Second right now, but I think Seattle's going to. I think Seattle's going to the Super Bowl, and I think the fact that we lost by 5 points and probably should have won that game against the second best team in the NFL, that should make Patriots fans extremely happy, and the fact that we saw Newton be able to sit in a pocket and throw the ball after watching him rip apart, run all over the Dolphins defense should give us a lot of confidence because now we know he can do both. And he even did both in the Seahawks game. 47 yards is for a quarterback pretty damn good.
Well, it's
4.27 yards per rush.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad, but I mean I'm not surprised by that stat with Cam. Like 47 yards, that doesn't surprise me with him.
I know that's what I'm saying.
That's not bad. I'm just saying I'm saying
against a Seattle team.
Oh yeah, they have a good defense, but their defense isn't even. The thing is, I feel like a lot of people do this. They forget because Seattle has been consistently good. They haven't really had a bad year in a while. Ever since they made the Super Bowl back in the day. Yeah, but their defense isn't really the strength of their team anymore.
They're damn good defense.
They have a good defense, but it's not what it used to be.
The defensive line's good. Jamal Adams in the secondary.
They have a good defense. I'm just saying it's not what it used to be. So, there's no more Legion of Boom. That's gone. But I still think they have a good defense.
And then the secondary got hurt and ejected. So.
No, I know. I'm not crapping on them. I'm just saying, yes, as much as it's a good feat and they have a good defense, it's nothing like.
But even our defense.
I think the Pats are going to face harder defenses this year, and I'm more concerned with how they put up against those teams. Yeah. But I think what's good for me looking at the whole thing is that first game against Miami was really just we know what Cam is comfortable doing. We know he can run the ball. We know he's comfortable running the ball. We have a good offensive line this year because we're healthy on the offensive line. Let's get him running the ball.
Yeah.
We can work on throwing as we go, which is why I think you saw so much running in that first game as far as scoring plays. Obviously,
we
had 155 yards in the air.
I have no problem with the game plan from game one,
No. But I think that's what I'm saying.
Maybe-
Like game 1 to game 2,
Yeah,
you saw such a drastic change. Yes, you had a totally different team you had to play against. You had to scheme, you
yeah,
had to game
different game
plan
plan.
against a different team. But I think they're trying to bring him along
Mm-hmm.
as they go, rather than having him already know everything that he needs to know, because it's such a diverse playbook that they run.
But
Obviously, I'm sure they dimmed it down for Cam because this could be a 1-year rental, but I still think that you're going to see progressively his stats are going to get better as the season goes on, because I think you're going to see them start to use him in different situations
he's gonna get
because
more
they're going
comfortable.
to, well, yeah, because soon enough you're going to be seeing, you know, RPOs and all this different stuff that they're going to have with James White and all these other guys, and JJ Taylor, former guest of our show. Like, he's starting to get reps, but I think that's something that's good because they can use those guys in the flats and stuff like that. And I think that's something really good for Cam because he's a better short distance passer because he can just bullet you right in the, you know what I mean, right in the
Well,
flat,
yeah,
and he can gain
you
a
saw
lot of
a lot of
yards
like
off that stuff.
10-yard. You saw a lot of 10-yard out routes to like Bird.
Yeah, the only thing I found weird was how they were like it was not too much, but the deep plays to Edelman, I was like,
You know, that I was I was like astonished.
because I just
No, hold on,
we
hold on,
know he can do that because
hold on,
he's
hold
done
on.
it before, but I was just like,
I was
all right,
absolutely astonished by the fact that that was Edelman's most yards like receiving in a game. You know, I was like,
I'm not,
you're
I'm
like,
not
I was very surprised because you've had games where Edelman's like getting the
the
ball
guy.
10 to 12 times, but
But the problem is when he was with, it's not really a problem. It's just the way that they played. When Brady was here, and you know, for that stretch of Edelman's career, you had Gronk,
and
you
they were all
had.
and most of
But the
Edelman's
thing, this is the
dropping
thing.
routes.
But this is the thing. You had Gronk, you had Edelman, you had, you know,
Gordon
Amendola,
took it one
you had
point.
Josh Gordon,
Oh,
Brandon Cooks, you had Chris Hogan for a while. You had all these different receivers in and out that, you know, you had Antonio Brown for the game or whatever, however long you had him.
yeah,
Sanu last year, whoever. You've had all these different guys come through your receiving core and your tight ends from Martellus Bennett and all these different guys that you've had that have been weapons. And also the fact that to Brady, Edelman was always his scapegoat, you know, or his just like safety valve where I dump it off to Edelman across the middle, or to dump off to Edelman somewhere, you know, like a short, like a dig across the front, where he just hit Edelman in stride, like across the middle or just like right in the chest. Edelman was, you know, he can be a deep threat, but you know, like we've seen it in the Super Bowl against the Falcons when he made that amazing catch. Like there's been different games here and there where you see those different plays, but where Brady was so used to using him on a short yard that it doesn't surprise me because Edelman could have had 10 catches for 15 yards each
yeah,
catch, but that still wouldn't have broken that record. And now you look at the offense this year. Um, they
yeah.
have like
I
nobody.
was blown away because like you think about like you hear all that crap from like the ESPN.
They have no weapons this year.
Well,
So Edelman is the
I
guy.
think ESPN has no idea what Edelman can do. Like they were like I read something today about like or the before this game like they were like, oh yeah, Edelman's just a byproduct of Brady, and then he goes out and has this game. Like he's not. He is a talented receiver and he is good. He's very fundamentally sound. He knows what he's doing. Like he doesn't need Brady to like be good. Like
No, I don't think he needs Brady to be successful. I think obviously Brady showed him how to be successful, and what to expect, and he he definitely demanded a lot out of him as a receiver, which I think is what makes him good now. So I do give Brady a lot of credit as to where Edelman is because without that persistence that Brady was putting on him, and Edelman just happened to line up in the right time of rookies that played with Brady because Brady was a lot younger back when Edelman came into the league. So I don't think Brady had the high head that he had around the last few years because when they started bringing rookies the last few years, he wasn't very open to mentoring these guys. He was a lot harder on them. So I think it's perfect for Edelman that he came in at the time where he was mentored by Brady, like the right way. So I think Brady does play a lot into that.
yeah,
Um, but I still think Edelman does too because if you don't actually try to pick up that information and work on it, you're not going to get anywhere. So
hard
I
working,
think
hard
it's
working.
both.
It's very hard working dude. But anyway, going back to Cam, and actually, do you want to go to the last play now? Do you want to talk about that last play of the game?
Well, one more thing I want to say about Cam. So when he played, you know, last year, he had played 2 games in 2019, and then in 2018, He played 14 games, and he had a really really good season. Um, but they didn't have that great of a year as a team. But he had a good season. Obviously, last year when they started off, when he played in Carolina, they were 0-2. He got hurt playing here, but he. I'll read you his stats from those first 2 games of last year because there's only 2 games on there.
Wasn't very
So he had 50 completions on 89 attempts for 56.2% completion, and he had 572 yards.
zero.
And he had 0 touchdowns and a pick. And then he had, and if I go to rushing,
6 rushing.
he had.
Wait, no, no, wait.
So if I go to rushing, he had 5 rushes for -2 yards, and his longest was 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess.
So I don't know. So the thing for me is, I'm very surprised to where he's come at this point. So I think it's great, and it's crazy to see the jump from one year to the next, and I think it shows. Like, I wouldn't say Belichick, but I think the numbers he's putting up are being put up for a reason. So I think that, like I was saying earlier, and you kind of agreed, we're going to see an improvement through the season. And I don't know. It's just something to be excited about. So,
all right. But so now I want to go Seattle game. Played a great game. They ended up being able to come back and getting that one last play in the 2-yard line, 1 yard line, in the goal line.
it was like the one.
He's at the goal line. So,
Whatever.
in which Seattle Patriots games seem to end on the goal line every time. But we were able to get there. Which
Is it bad that we probably should have thrown the ball instead of ran it?
thrown the ball. It's kind of ironic there, but no, you need that last play. Like, obviously, I think McDaniels maybe should have. Here, let's go to the.
You
film.
have it queued up, right?
Yeah, I'll go to the film. So share my screen. You can see it.
Yep.
All right. So here's our last play. Let me. I'm gonna do some breakdown. Bosi, you can feel free to pipe in, but hey, let me try. All right. So here all right. Everyone in the whole freaking nation knows what's gonna happen.
Hold on, wait. Let me do this real quick because I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
When you look at this set, and you have Jakob Johnson right here, and you have a lead for Cam right there, you know that he is going right there.
Yeah. Hey, ready?
Everybody in the world, and that's why they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on this half of the ball, all aimed right there. Obviously, they have the same thing there, but it's just a little bit different.
Ends up shifting over too.
And he comes across, and he comes across,
this way.
and they all are condensing down. Obviously, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, ready? Get ready here.
But it's just the point.
Yeah, get ready. So can you? All right. So everyone in the friggin' nation knows what's going to happen here. Personally, so honestly, I think what they should have done. I'm going to go over what I think they should have done from the start, and then what the decision Cam should have made mid-play. And we talked about this before, but I'm just going to. So honestly, when he's coming around, so everyone knows he's going to try, but he comes up and blocks this guy right here. And he comes up and flattens this guy right here. This block right here, he should have hit him and then pop out over here, and that's just a little drop pass from Cam to the tight end. I believe that's Ryan Izzo, and I think that play is that's an easy 6.
Well, the problem,
there's nobody going to be near Izzo.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about this before, like you just said. When you see this set, right, and if you're Cam, and you see this stack, and you have these 3 backers right here, and you have these 2 guys are going to come off the edge at you, and you have this guy here. When you see that, I really feel like that you have this flat here and you have this flat here. So, like you were saying with the tight end over here with Izzo to come up and pop off him and go over there, I think the same thing could be said because this guy's going to come down to Asiasi here. And because Izzo goes out and gets him, he kind of meets him at the line.
Yeah.
Whereas Asiasi kind of lets this guy come to him. Like if you watch, he lets him come down to him and hit him. So if either one of them was to, especially Asiasi, just because of the way that they ran this play, if he could have popped off to there, it would have made a lot of sense because then you have Cam either roll out here or obviously stick in the pocket, and then you have Jakob Johnson to block this backside guy coming off, and then that's a simple throw for Cam.
Yeah. So get rid of your. So what you're saying? Yeah, and I get what you're saying. So, and
it's the same point as yours. I just like it could have been ran either way, but the way that they had it aligned.
Your side. That's something you have to think about before the start of the play. That can't be something.
I'm only saying that because of the way that they're already aligned in this, like because they have Jakob Johnson right there for him to block the backside on Cam.
And I think honestly, this should have been this should not have been a just run play. It should have been an option play where he does have an option to throw the ball if he does get stuck.
Or you could have faked the dive with Jakob Johnson, like a fullback dive there. You could have easily faked something.
This play worked about 9 different times in the last 2 weeks.
Well, that's why they ran it.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be some kind of option for Cam so he doesn't get himself stuck because everyone in the entire world knows he's running. Hold on. So
play it.
So when he gets here, ready? So when he gets here, look, right here, they're locked up. All he has to do is release and go, and that's just a little over the top.
Well, the problem is in this situation, Cam is already on the move. His feet are not set here.
He did this to Johnson in the first or in the third quarter. I think it was the third quarter where this is the exact play. It was ran to the other side, but Jakob Johnson it was opposite side, but he hits him here and then releases over the top.
Well, my bigger problem, and I agree with you, that yes, you could have made this into a throw, but I think this is something that you would have pre-play because you know that flow is all going to go this way. So you have no problem doing that in this case, which is fine. And you could just prepare for that. And you could run flow and you could throw, front side to him over. You could throw to him over the top like you're saying, like over here. But I think what makes me more annoyed, or not really annoyed, just like, why didn't you? When you see this guy,
hold on.
When you see Jakob Johnson here and you see this guy's coming up to Phil here. I don't know who that is. And you see that these guys are locked up square, and there's just this huge shit show.
Yeah, hold on. You're taking my point.
You don't come through this gap. I don't know why Cam doesn't bounce that out and make a race to the outside. Because the worst that can happen.
Hold on. Ready? Erase yours. So you get to this point. This is what I was telling you. So you get to this point. He's flattened. He's on the ground. He's not doing anything. He's pretty much locked up here. If he does release, it's just a race. It's a race to the point.
That's what we're agreeing on, though. So the worst that can happen is he escapes.
This is all locked up in here. What he should have done, he should read this, be like, oh, crap, that's a complete shit show. I can't get in there. Let me try and get to the outside where there's all this free space. There is no one within a mile. And get to here. And if worse comes to worse, he unlocks this block and he tries to come over. It is a race to the pylon or a 6'6", like Cam Newton just needs to try and
the thing is, right?
Reach the ball over the line and beat him there.
Okay, but
dive.
Even so, can you clear your screen? I don't know how to do that. So right here, hold on. Right. This with Izzo and the D end here. So the worst case, like we said, he sheds this block. It's a race because Cam brings the 1v1. Cam, but listen. So Cam brings it up. He bounces out here, and they're both running to there, and they're gonna meet there. The worst case scenario, Cam being athletic, sees this guy is completely committed to running to that side because he's not gonna shuffle it. He's gonna have his head on a swivel. Bounce back in again. and you just run right through this open lane. Obviously, there's going to be flow, but like you're going to have this whole thing is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you still have that, and
Yeah,
like whatever, like it's one play, you know, like I don't think that's the defining moment of the game because I think
obviously, like this, but
played really well.
I think there are definitely options because he ends up coming here and just getting tripped up around here because it's just there's no space. He bounces around here. Honestly, even if he goes straight at this guy, if he comes here, he comes straight at this guy. He just has
He's
to
probably breaking the plane. He's probably breaking the plane.
break the freaking plane. He's not. He doesn't have. He can get tackled. He doesn't have to break a tackle. He just has to. And he's 6'6". He just has to reach or dive. He's long.
Well, that's why in this case, right?
Here, I'll play the.
Hold on, no, wait. Leave it here for a sec.
Yep.
When you have all this flow going this way, with all of this play, like when they hike the ball, and you have Jakob Johnson leave from right here, and he comes up and he takes on this guy, and Cam is right there. When you have Asi right here, on this backside.
Yeah, there's no one over there. Actually,
so my point.
You gotta be careful. There's still.
I understand. So this is my point here.
This is Jamal Adams, right?
No, yes, but my point here.
You gotta be careful.
My point here.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a second or two into this play.
Yeah. Well, it's a second because it was at 3
But
seconds.
my whole point is Jamal's coming straight down the chute, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Cam was to bang back out here and Asi chip block, run out into the flat here because you have flow going this way. You cut back, you flow back outside. He's wide open over here.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any need. There's all if you.
No. I'm just saying, like in the second option. Here,
yeah. No, I get.
Like if the run doesn't work over here, and you're like, or whatever, like just whatever. The other play the only other thing that I would think is, dude, just spill it. Just spill it out here, and then just Asi has to pop off of this, and it's a wide open play.
All right, so I want to show the plan. So you see Cam comes up here and gets drilled by the guy.
Hold on, go back like a tiny bit, just like where he's tripped, and like pause it while like right before he gets hit, if you can. I know it's kind of a pain. All right, right there. So
he goes over he tries to get over a pile that's.
So I just don't understand.
Look. I
don't understand why you come down to here.
He's 3 yards from the goal line. He's ready. Let's do the math. 3 yards from the goal line, which is 9 feet. Ready? He is 6 feet tall, or 6'6". What is he? 6'6"? Yeah.
I don't know something.
For this, he's 6'6". There is a giant.
I don't know if he's 6'6", but yeah.
He gets hit and tries to dive, and lands right here.
Yeah, I guess I just.
Where do you think? For me, do you think he's jumping?
Can you go back anymore?
But I don't care how athletic he is. He is not jumping 9 feet over a pile into another pile into the.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Anyway, back to what we're doing.
It took me a sec.
Like
5 years old.
All right, go back a little bit. Can you like rewind more for me?
Get to the mouse.
I'll just like before I want to see who. So press play.
There.
Stop.
Yeah. Why does he? He drops. He drops.
So the thing is, why'd you keep going?
My bad. I didn't mean to. There.
Right there. Right. Okay. This is Jakob Johnson. This lane is closed even more.
He flattened the guy.
But it looks like, so this is the thing. We talk about how Cam should have bounced it out. This leg here and his frame sort of looks like he's starting to maybe turn this way.
Yeah.
But then his level drops down. So I don't understand why he's prepping for contact rather than just pull it out.
Yeah, he goes completely upside down. But
besides that, like I don't care about the flip at the end. But wait, pause it.
Hold on.
Pause it.
I want to get the other view. You get to hear.
Substitute is going to submarine here. Take out the
Nice.
So so that's a better like he's looking to dive. He is looking
Wait,
to dive.
Hold on.
That is a dive.
Go
That's a
again. Go
diving-
back. Go back. Sorry, I just didn't see some of that. Okay. Wait. Just
That's
give me
even
a second
better
here.
view. There's no lane.
Okay, so look at this. Izzo has him at an angle. So in order for him to get across, that's the real pain in the ass. The only thing you have as a threat right now to you is him. You have Jamal Adams, I believe.
No, that's not. Is it Jamal? No, that's not even. Is that?
I think it is.
Yeah.
He's going to be on your back shoulder. But if you're Cam Newton and you have, and you're running this ball, I get you see this lane. Like I see this, right? You see this path right here, right through Izzo. Or if this guy continues to be pushed out, you could cut back through there. But when nobody there and Jakob Johnson's flattening this dude, just like your arrow, I don't understand your read is here. Or
Well, no, right here, right here, you get tripped up. You come around.
No. But that's what I'm just saying. Like, you just need to get it the frick out there.
Yeah.
But if you're Cam, you're looking right here he's like looking up there. He's looking at Izzo. It looks like.
Yeah.
I think.
This guy, you have to see.
You look at this. This is like the perfect spot. Bam. Ball comes out. Right there. Like, you hit Izzo.
That's the play I was talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like,
That
see how he has him fenced off, basically.
Yeah, he just has to
Like,
turn.
see how he's inside. See how he has him at this angle, so that if he wants to get around, he has to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has to fight back across him to go there. It's a lot harder to do that. So if you're Izzo, you have the upper hand here to where you just rip through and you come off onto the outside.
I wouldn't even blame Izzo, because then if he releases that block, like then that potentially gets blamed on him for not blocking.
No, because this guy is not gonna have time to get there, because Izzo should literally leave and turn his head.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like a one-step turn your head.
That should have been an option. But all right, so I'm gonna stop sharing because I think we got over that. But yeah, I don't know. I think
and take out
I don't know what
all right, hold up. See, like, I don't understand this flip, but I really just wanted to do this again.
Like, I don't understand why he thought. Stop. I don't know why he thought he was gonna be able to jump from here to. I don't know why he thought he was gonna be able to jump from here. This is where he jumped from. I don't know how he's gonna jump from here to here. Like, that is. I don't think that's physically possible when there's how many guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys in this immediate area at least. Like, I don't know. I don't know what he thought he was gonna do. But anyway, let's stop sharing and. But that was our attempt at film breakdown of the Patriots and Cam Newton. But I think for that's all I had for today. But I don't know if you had any more points you want to make.
The only thing otherwise that I wanted to talk about is N'Keal Harry. It's really just based off Cam Newton. Right now, this season, he has 13 receptions for 111 yards. He's averaging 8.5 yards per reception. He has no touchdowns. He's only giving you 9.1 fantasy points, depending on what league you're in.
Only
But
receiving touchdowns so far. So
playing from cross eye.
But
sorry.
besides Cross's obnoxious noises in the background, I think that, and you can disagree or agree, I think Cam Newton can bring out whatever you're going to get from N'Keal Harry. I don't think you're ever going to get what his value would have been at where you picked him, seeing the talent that came out of that draft after him.
What talent? Which ones?
There was so much receiver talent in that draft. last year. Metcalf, you had all these different guys going all over the place.
Oh,
And they've had
yeah.
way more success
Well,
than N'Keal Harry. Or even this year, like Belichick's just horrible at drafting receivers, but that's not my point. You're never going to get what you want to get out of N'Keal Harry, in my opinion. But whatever he does have, I think Cam Newton can bring that out of him. And I think you're starting to see it. Like at Seattle, he had 12. He got 8 receptions on 12 targets, 72 yards. Like that's probably his best game ever. And it just gets overshadowed. You don't really think about it because Edelman had such a great game, but he didn't have a bad game, and that's something that I think everyone should kind of take note of, is that N'Keal Harry could become an option for you, which is something that I think everyone was kind of hoping for and talked about as soon as we got Cam Newton.
Still scratching the surface of his potential.
Well, as soon as we kind of got Cam and we thought, hey, we have a chance here, and we thought about the offense, that's one more thing I want to get to, then we can stop. N'Keal Harry could be that guy for you, and I think Cam can bring that out of him because you saw the support that he gave him after week 1. The second thing I want to say, the last thing that I was just about to talk about, was this, in my opinion, their performance in week 1 and 2 is an excuse for Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels to go out and get a weapon for Cam Newton.
Honestly,
because of their performance. I think there's plenty of guys that you could go out there and look to target get with your cap space. I don't want an Odell Beckham Jr. I don't need Allen Robinson, but there's plenty of receivers out there that the Patriots could definitely benefit from.
And I know the Spike King scores. I saw it on his thing.
Well, I don't really agree with what he has to say because every week he's just like, go get Julio Jones. It's like, dude, they're not going to give up Julio Jones.
Shut up.
What about Marvin Jones Jr. or I don't know, just one of those other guys?
Can I speak now? Can I speak?
I don't really think you should, but sure.
All right. Well, anyway, so I know he screws around and he's joking about the Julio Jones thing, but he makes a good point where we still could trade for a receiver. I don't think Odell's the greatest option right now, but I think even though he does have a good relationship with Cam Newton, which it could be an option, but I think we could go trade for an Allen Robinson, or like you said, Marvin Jones Jr. would be a very, very, very good player to trade because he would be a good.
Here's one that I want.
Holy shit!
No.
So Marvin Jones has 1 year left on his contract, so he'd be a good 1 year rental, and he's only making $6 million up to $9 million, or with a $9 million dead cap hit. So he's cheap money, he's good receiver, and you have a good relationship with the coach there with Patricia. That could be something you could get done. And he might sign back with the Lions next year, but he might not. They don't know. They might as well try and get something for him.
I think another guy, another Lions guy, I think, which is funny. Golden Tate.
He's not. He is not on the Lions.
He's not on the Lions right now, but I believe he was in the past. I don't think he's on the Giants anymore.
He's on the Giants. I know for a fact he's on the Giants.
All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's a guy that I think has a lot of talent. He's obviously aging, but I think that he'd be someone great to bring in here. Or
I don't know. I don't think I think they might, if they're gonna trade for a receiver, it might as well go for a Marvin, somebody you know is gonna make.
Golden Tate's a good receiver. I wouldn't.
Not doing much in New York. I mean, you might as well go for someone you know is gonna put something up. You don't want to take another chance on someone. We need someone we know is gonna produce now. We can't.
Or a guy that I think, his team might not be that great this year, or just that he's been on this team for a long time. They haven't had the success that he's wanted probably as a receiver. And it's going to sound like a total shot in the dark, but it's not if you think about it. It's T.Y. Hilton. Obviously, yeah, you got Phillip Rivers, but he's kind of a one-shot for this year.
I don't know.
I think he's kind of burned out.
I mean, they're not doing bad. I mean,
I know they have talent.
They're decent this year. But I think
I know they have talent, but I think it's just because I think he could work well with Cam.
But
not
hold on.
really based off what's around him.
But I think if we're gonna like, you could go for an AJ Green. I know he has problems with injuries.
They're not going to give up AJ Green,
Why?
but I mean, because they just got Joe Burrow with the first overall pick. Why would they give up his number one option?
They're 0-2.
Who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares? At some point, you got to be like, well, this isn't working out. So
I don't know if he was franchise tag already, but if he wasn't, he's probably going to get franchise tagged.
I don't know. For the first 2 games, first game 5 receptions, 51 yards. Second game 3 receptions, 29 yards. Is that what you want from your number one receiver?
I mean, they have Boyd too. Boyd's good.
Yes, but Green is technically the number one receiver.
Another guy, a guy that was just brought in to Cam's old team, Robbie Anderson.
He's not leaving. They're not looking to trade their receivers right now. They're looking to get receivers.
But
And
I don't know. There's plenty of guys that
I don't know. I think we're getting a little watered down now.
I just think there's a lot of guys that Patriots could look to bring in.
There's a lot of options, but you guys.
And I think that this is an excuse for them to do it. I think their success is an excuse for them to do it.
I don't think they need an excuse to trade for someone, but
No, I'm just saying with their success, it's like their offense obviously needs a little bit of help.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we good first podcast back from a long or a little break, and
Nick will be back.
Nick will make his return soon.
Yeah, he was not excluded at all. He's just not on this one.
Yeah, but yeah, we definitely have some. We'll get some more stuff coming up. Thank you to everyone who bought merch, by the way. It's definitely
that was awesome.
love the support.
Appreciated it.
Shout out to Sporting Goods for helping us out with that and hooking us up with these.
Hopefully, we're gonna start getting some guys back on. Hopefully, we can start getting some people back on the show.
Yeah,
some fans maybe and all that stuff. We want to kind of get that
Love
stuff
talking.
going. Obviously, everyone's at school right now, so it's tough. So any support we get is awesome because obviously, a lot of the kids we know that like what we're doing they're all at college. So any kind of views we get, great. Appreciate you guys watching it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think. Yep. I just want to give one more shout out to B Hall down at Stonehill. They've been watching. They've been supporting. So, but yeah, I think we're good for this one. Really.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
All right. Peace.